Hello, this is the RPG Crawler, and welcome to my RPG News Roundup for January 20th, 2024, where each week I take a look back at the week in tabletop, computer, and console role-playing game news and bring you the highlights. With that, let's dive right into computer and console role-playing game news. It looks like Diablo 4 is getting its new season. Season of the Construct, the third season of Diablo 4, will be coming out on January 23rd with a new threat under the sands of Kyrgyzstan. It looks like Persona 3 Reload will be getting a Day 1 DLC when it launches. It looks like it's set for release on February 2nd, 2024 for the PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X/S. The DLC will include a set of costume packs, personas, and background music from Persona 4 and 5. Wolong Fallen Dynasty will be getting a complete edition, set to be released on February 6th in North America, 7th in Europe. It'll include the main game and all 3 DLC packs. There will also be new weapons, divine beasts, stages, and new endgame content. Detective RPG Pixel Noir will be getting a full release on February 8th. Originally set for January 18th, it was delayed, but only a little bit. It has you playing a private detective a decade after an event in an old hospital that resulted in the deaths of people, including their partner, and ending their police career. Warhammer 40,000 Chaos Gate Demon Hunters is getting a console release. Slated for February 20th, it'll target the PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X/S. It has been available on the PC for a while now and follows the Grey Knights chapter of the Space Marines. Bandle Tale League of Legends story has a release date set for February 24th. It'll target the PC and the Switch and will be a crafting-based RPG set in the League of Legends universe. Neptunia Sisters vs. Sisters is hitting the Switch on January 23rd and then is coming to Xbox One and Xbox Series X/S on April 16th. An action RPG spin-off of the main Neptunia series, it has been available on other platforms for a while now. Library of Ruina is getting a release on the PS4 and the Switch. It looks like it's scheduled for April 25th, at least in Asia, with a general spring release worldwide. It'll be available on the Xbox One and the PC for a few years now. It is a turn-based strategy RPG where you play a fixer working for a head librarian, fighting against other librarians for books, and the people that you hire, if they lose, they turn into books. So there's that. It looks like the next Elder Scrolls Online expansion, Gold Road, is set for release in June. It'll include 30 hours of main quest material and continue the events introduced in Necron along with the usual additions to the system. Visions of Mana is set for release this summer, targeted for the PC, PS4, PS5, and Xbox Series X/S. It'll be the first mainline entry in the Mana series in the last 15 years. I believe it takes inspiration from Trials of Mana, but we'll see. Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl, has a release date set on September 5th. Taking place in the Chernobyl exclusion zone, riddled with anomalies and artifacts, it is a first-person shooter /RPG /survival open-world game. It looks like 2 RPGs based on the Toho series are coming soon. Targeted for Steam, Marissa of Liar Top Mountain will have Reimu Hakure searching for Marissa Kurasami after she suddenly vanished at the same time that a mysterious mountain appeared. It is designed to take tips from the tabletop adventure role-playing game type gameplay. Then Toho Dungeon Maker, The Labyrinth of Heart, will be a tower defense /dungeon management /roguelike hybrid with RPG elements. Jean Yon's Sword, Mist Beyond the Mountains, is going to get a physical release in quarter 4 of 2024. Targeted for the Switch, it'll include the game, a chipboard standee, a original soundtrack, a resin tea pet statue, and more. The role-playing game developed by former CD Projekt Red veterans at Rebel Wolves that I mentioned last time now has a name. Called Dawnwalker, it will be a story-driven, dark fantasy role-playing game and is currently entering its alpha stage of development. It looks like Sea of Stars is getting DLC. While little information of it is available at the moment, it is at least past the pre-production stage, so there's that. Then Glass House was announced. A single-player isometric mystery-based CRPG set in a world on the brink of a world war. You seek out the solution to a political mystery. As far as actual releases go, Sovereign Syndicate saw its release. It is a Victorian-based steampunk RPG where you pick from 3 playable characters with branching stories. Kingsbane is a retro-style pixel-based RPG with tactical party-based combat. It lets you lead a customizable party of knights and mystics to find out what happened to the city of Kingsbane after contact was lost. Then Immortal Life saw its release. It is a life sim /farming sim style RPG where you try to restore a sect after its near destruction while trying to achieve immortality through spiritual cultivation. Pal World is an open-world creature collector slash survival slash crafting game. Not sure how much of an RPG it is, but it is a weird mix of a monster collector like Pokemon with open-world survival style mechanics and online multiplayer, where you can do some really messed up stuff in it. That's a plus in my book. Knights of Grey Fang is a classic-style JRPG set in a vampire world, or a vampire war. You travel about to 9 temples, figuring out the mysteries within and battle monsters. And then there's Fantasy Commander Eucarian Wars. It's a strategy fantasy tactical RPG in a European fantasy world that has you leading armies through 4 campaigns. All Quiet in the Trenches is a turn-based strategy RPG set in World War I. You get to deal with your soldiers and try to balance your superiors' orders with the survival of your men. Temple of Aerin is an adventure game inspired by classic RPGs, using a retro pixel graphic style that has you exploring a world, summoning creatures, and casting various spells in turn-based combat. Super Algebrawl is a sort of party-based tactical RPG that's more of an edutainment title, looking to teach math as you control a boar king with magical mathematical powers, looking to add and multiply his animal underlings. Three Kingdoms, Zhao Yun, is an historical hack-and-slash RPG set at the end of the Eastern Han Dynasty, where you play Zhao Yun, a well-known general. Finally, there's Chronicle Survivors, an action roguelike with short objectives, a variety of levels, and various enemies with unique mechanics and the typical loot grind. With that, let's take a look at tabletop role-playing game news. Not so much role-playing game news itself, but tangential. It looks like Random House is going to put out an entry in their classic Little Golden Books children's series based on Dungeons & Dragons. Called A Long Rest for Little Monsters, it will be an officially licensed product. I wonder, is there like a... They've had this going since like the 40s, like the 1940s, and I'm wondering if there's some sort of correlation between when pop culture starts appearing in these books and when it starts its decline. Just curious if anybody wants to take a look. Anyway, it looks like there will also be a Spelljammer novel coming out this summer, Memory is Awake. It'll be written by Django Rexler, and it's going to have the new version of Spelljammer stuff in it, of course, so your mileage may vary. Then it seems that Ars Magica will be getting a 5th edition definitive edition later this year. There will be crowdfunding for it in fall of this year. And now onward towards minor PD and PDF releases. We'll start with Book of the Cosmos, designed for Pathfinder 2nd Edition. It is a supplement that takes a look at the stars and offers options such as living constellation ancestry, various heritages and feats, a constellation hunter's edge, a being from the stars patron theme, and associated material. Raging Swan Press has Wilderness Dressing Bandits. This installment offers various material to offer players minor features and interesting events during a journey based on theme. This one, of course, focusing on bandits. Available in 5th edition, Pathfinder 1st and 2nd edition, as well as OSR versions. Floating Grave is a 2nd-level adventure for 5th edition. It deals with a sunless sea where the wreckage of old sailing ships form a small island riddled with undead. The Witch of Chimney Rock from Ancient Sage Games is a 5th edition adventure module featuring a village that banished an orphan to a primeval forest. She survived, but fell prey to an ancient fey curse. Now her vengeance may be taking its toll on the village. Tomb of Fenrir's Hold is another 5th edition adventure, this time from Luna Bear Games. This one features a dark tomb in a frigid mountain range where an evil group has decided to reveal what lies within. It's up to you to stop the dark magic within it. Bob the World Builder presents has Dust to Dust, another 5th edition one-shot adventure. This one deals with settlers and a druid of the plains who have increasing tensions after a deadly accident. The heroes are hired by a rancher to negotiate a truce and retrieve a pet hyena, and when they start looking into things, they find out that the stakes are actually deadlier than they thought. Worms Rise is a module for 4th level characters from Darkthan Publishing. It is a 1 or 2 session module for 5th edition where a forgotten slumbering dragon is beginning to awaken. 3 Wild Embers has Monsters of the Plains, designed for 5th edition, and it contains over 100 new monsters, suited for campaign setting of Diorde, I think it's pronounced, or Giorde, or whatever. Anyway, it deals with soul monsters and afterlives. They also have Gods and Harbingers, another 5th edition supplement that has 33 new high-level monsters, most between CR 20 and 30. Finally, they have Monsters of Giorde, a 5th edition collection of 179 new monsters for the campaign setting. Quirked Lands Anthology is a collection of 1 to 25, a collection of flora and weather patterns and mechanics for 5th edition. It deals with a land that has been influenced by magic. It includes 10 forests, 4 bushes and grasses, 3 weather effects, 3 river and mountain effects, 3 hints of civilization, 2 oceanic events, and 18 mini-events. They contain explanations on what causes the effects, quest hooks, obstacles, a unique monster each, relevant rewards, and how to move the effect, and so on. Barbarian Primal Path, the Path of Bone and Steel, is a subclass for barbarians. For 5th edition, it expands upon the mechanics of that class and allows you to focus on barbarians that reject magical equipment aid and focus purely on martial might. Tales from the Tower #1 from Explore Dungeons is an issue of a 5th edition zine that contains maps, creatures, encounters, magic items, and more. They also have Explore Dungeons zine #3, which is a collection of system-neutral content for fantasy RPGs, which has arts, maps, tables, new monsters, and adventures, etc. The Tome of Transcendence from Planar Inc. Editions is a collection of 1,380 plus spells for 5th edition. It is a wide range of spells from the dazzling to the subtle, and a lot of spells. Anyway, Kobold Press has Kobold's unique guide, or Kobold Guide to Role-Playing. It is a collection of ideas and suggestions for bringing out details in NPCs, using role-playing as a story device, building character arcs, etc., etc. RPG Gamer has more of their collections of monsters up. There's Book of Werewolves, presenting 10 various variations on werewolves, available in 5th edition Shadowdark and Dragonbane versions. They also have the Book of Ghosts and the Book of Demons, each offering 10 variants of each monster, also with versions for 5th edition Shadowdark and Dragonbane. Gate Pass Gazette #21 is another entry into the Advanced 5th edition magazine, available in print, offering new rules and resources for that system. Gentle's Dungeon Guide 2 is a Shadowdark offering. It improves and refines dungeon design principles into one condensed checklist, at least so they say. It offers procedures for laying out dungeons, building loops for dungeons crawling experiences, and designing specific experiences to vary the dungeon's contents. Sursa Victory has a couple of adventures for Shadowdark role-playing game. There is the Plague Jewels of Sekhmet, is a level 0 gauntlet featuring long-lost tombs with the servants of Sekhmet, which have recently been reopened. Then there's Caldera of the Sickle Dancer, which deals with a long-ago dancing girl turned tyrant, buried in the ashes of a volcano, who has been awakened by its new eruption. Scout Volume 2 is an OSR magazine focused on old school essentials specifically. This issue introduces 4 new classes, a bunch of new spells and potions, a mana point spellcasting system, a skirmish system, politics system, and several new monsters. Then Castle Ultima is a OSR-style system and setting in one with 4 races, 4 classes, 20 professions, various spells, a point crawl, and a system that lets you gain abilities from race, class, and profession alike, like horizontal improvement rather than vertical improvement. Under Ashen Skies is available in print from Black Oath Entertainment. Always good, produces a lot of stuff that I really need to take a look at because I've got a backlog of material, and yeah, they're pretty good people. Anyway, in this one, you take on the role of a person who awakens in a world of darkness and horror with no memories of who they are. You must then venture from your apartment and explore different locations around town. It is a single-player role-playing game with a focus on combat, survival, and exploration. Schwalbe Entertainment has The Well of Fate, an adventure for when the wolf comes. It is the 9th chapter in the Thought and Memory saga. Ganesha Games has Carcosa Rising, a supplement for 4 Against the Great Old Ones. It is based on the works of Robert W. Chambers and Ambrose Bierce. It is an expansion that requires the 4 Against the Great Old Ones to play. That is a solo role-playing system. I think it's similar to 4 Against Darkness from the same people. It's just you generate Lovecraftian stuff instead of just dungeon crawls. The Legacy from Undaris is an OSR-style adventure module where an inheritance has been discovered, causing a stir in a village of Oak Grove. Supposedly, a treasure is found in an old tomb in a cursed heath. It is to be an introduction to their upcoming OSR world and setting. The Tiny Tome of Tablecraft Tips is a small reference book for referees. It offers 150 tips over 50 topics designed to help GMs improve their game. Warden's Tabletop RPG is an RPG system where humanity stands alone against evil, and they send their wardens out to take up the fight for humanity and prevent humankind from being eliminated. You play one of these heroes with little chance of success and less of survival. Philip Reed has a few offerings out for a variety of things, so I'm kind of grouping them all here. First, there's the Book of Unusual Feats. Designed for 3.x systems, it contains over 300 feats, and it was originally published back in 2007. There's also additional spellcraft containing rare spells for Dragon Bane, as well as notices and quests. The Game Master's Workbook, a general workbook for notices and quests, which I've covered before, but it's now available in print. Maze Minions Fantasy Role-Playing Game, separately, is a zine-style role-playing game where you play the role of a monster protecting their boss and their dungeon from adventurers. It is a supplement for the Mazes tabletop role-playing game using that system and expands on the original game, giving more options for characters and scenarios. Dungeon Dash is a tabletop game based on the idea of a dungeon gig economy. You team up with fellow adventurers and delve into the depths, slaying monsters and traps, and cashing in with dungeon coin to pay the rent. It is powered by the GD20 SRD. The Evil Shade of Green is a horror vibe module for fantasy or Wild West settings, a variety of systems that is in desperate need of more copy. Fantasy Express Lite is a system under open beta. It looks like it's a role-playing game system from Firehawk Games that looks like a stripped-down version of Fantasy Express in general. Then it looks like there's an official tabletop role-playing system for Boyfriend Dungeon. It lets up to 4 players confront their fears and romance various sorts. Total Party Skills has the Total Party System Rules Handbook. Fantasy Edition is a setting-agnostic fantasy RPG system which has all the basic rules for characters, magic, and gameplay in one package. Onyx Path has Icons of Rage available in print for the Werewolf the Apocalypse 20th Anniversary Edition. It is a sourcebook that offers 24 fully detailed characters complete with their backgrounds, traits, and story hooks for use in your chronicles. Old Gods of Appalachia Railroad Guide from Monte Cook is a pocket guide that offers routes and scheduling information for railroads in the setting of the Old Gods of Appalachia. Okay. Pikes Creek is a basic role-playing horror-themed scenario that draws inspiration from movies like 8mm, The Flock, and A Walk Among Tombstones. It is a contemporary snuff-themed thriller without supernatural elements. So instead of supernatural monsters, you face the real monsters of humanity. Anyway, Achtung Cthulhu, the Elbrus Enigma, is a scenario for Achtung Cthulhu 2D20. It deals with strange reports from the Caucasus region near Mount Elbrus. There is reported sightings of both Machtwolf operatives and strange creatures known as the Devi, who have kidnapped a number of locals. Stella Gamma has Quantum Dark Alien Companion and is designed to bring particularly horrific gray aliens, UFOs, and alien hybrids into the Quantum Dark game. Free League has Alien RPG Building Better Worlds. It's a campaign module for the Alien RPG that gives you all the tools you need to run open campaigns as a pioneering explorer or colonist. Eclipse Phase, 2nd edition, Flexbot Confidential, is a rulebook that deals with modular bodies, cyber brains, and so forth for transhumanists and others who might find modular morphs useful. Plarian, Solo Starfarer, is a companion to Plarian that offers a toolkit for guidelines and components for that system. Fari RPGs has a Stoneburner, a science fantasy solo-friendly demon hunting community-building tabletop role-playing game. They also have Nomadic, a tragic solo tabletop role-playing game focused on survival and exploration inspired by No Man's Sky. Finally, there is The Mystery Business, which is a mystery-solving RPG about a group of friends and their unusual companion who always find themselves in scary situations. With that, let's move into role-playing crowdfunding campaigns. Remember that contributing to crowdfunding campaigns should be done only at your own risk. Doing so is no guarantee of receiving a product mentioned here, is not an endorsement, but is for informational purposes only. And this time there are actually a few computer and console role-playing game crowdfundings that I want to take a look at. We'll start with Quasis, The Last Eclipse. Designed to be an isometric style RPG with turn-based tactics and real-time action. Both turn-based tactics and real-time action. It's set in a post-apocalyptic cyberpunk world. Then Undershadows looks to be a lo-fi horror RPG where the light has driven creatures born of shadow into the depths of darkness, and now a war has begun for the dominion of the Great Light. Pixacria is a retro-styled pixelated roguelike. Not sure how much of a proper RPG it is, but it looks like it'll be a roguelike monster tamer with card battling and a collectible card creature collecting style. Onward towards tabletop crowdfunding, Onyx Path is looking to reprint a few rulebooks. It looks like the reprint will include the Trinity Continuum Core Rulebook, Trinity Continuum Aeon, and the Scion Book 1 Origins. Legendary Games has Mechanical Monsters for Pathfinder 2nd Edition, 1st Edition, and 5th Edition D&D. It looks like it'll be a bestiary featuring over 140 creatures from the products of Mad Scientists, Magitech, Steampunk, Clockworks, and even Advanced Cybernetics and Robotics, and haven't they done this before? Anyway, moving on, the Oracle is looking to fund 2 5th Edition supplements. First is DreamWorks, which will of course focus on the ethereal lands of the dream world, and then Ice Palaces will feature legends regarding frozen palaces. Surprise. Anyway, Adventures in Mapser setting sail looks to be a 5th edition nautical adventure, also compatible with Black Flag, that will involve hunting a sea beast. I don't see very much Black Flag and Tales of Valiant stuff out, and it surprises me. I guess we'll see if it picks up going forward. Anyway, Worms of Nordham will be a dark fantasy RPG campaign for 5th edition. It looks to feature an idyllic village which has been disrupted by sinister forces and is now plagued with evil. Adaptable Encounters, Enchanted and Mythic, will be a 5th edition selection of ready-to-play encounters. Specifically, it'll be 2 themed volumes, Enchanted Forests and Mythic Creatures, with the encounters in each set appropriately. The Untold Story of Brooksville looks to be a 5th edition adventure, as well as a short novel involving a village with 7 full-fledged NPCs, a couple of extra side quests, and so forth. The Golden Engines of Vaporia looks to be a steampunk 5th edition campaign suited for new adventurers to take them from level 1 to 4. Space Jammer Adventures in the Astral Plane looks to be getting a hardbound support kit for 5th edition. It looks like it's designed to be a box set with minis, maps, dice, and ships for star travel in 5th edition. Mr. Person's Caravan of Wonders looks to be a collection of 100 original magical trinkets, technically for 5th edition, but also system neutral enough to meant to be magical, whimsical, and original. Fantasy Forge is looking to create 2 classes for 5th edition. There's the Chronomancer, a time-bending class, while the other one will be the Flying Sword Master. Epic Heroes Encyclopedia Volume 1 Barbarian looks to be the first in a series of offerings for 5th edition that will advance classes up to 30th level. The first one, of course, looks to focus on Barbarian and offers progression from levels 20 to 30. 100 Monsters and Villains for D&D 5th edition will be a collection of monsters and villains, of course, for 5th edition. It looks that they will include lore and origins as well as stat blocks. Kobold Press is looking to fund Tales of the Valiant Game Master's Guide. It'll introduce Game Master's tools and support for the upcoming Tales of the Valiant tabletop role-playing game, which might explain why there's not a lot of stuff out. It's because it's still in development. Wow, I forget. Anyway, The Slumbering City will be a Shadow Dark RPG adventure written as a tribute to one of the world's sword and sorcery fantasy authors, the one that wrote Conan, Robert Howard. It'll feature a city lost city of dreams, long avoided by nomads and traveling merchants amongst the desert wastes. Sage and Steel looks to be a gritty, old-school narrative fiction-based RPG. It'll be based on a D12 system with magic dice for the spell system, herbs to create potions and spells, and so forth. Philip Reed has additional treasures for a supplement for Dragonbane. It'll be yet another deck of treasure cards for use of the Dragonbane role-playing game. My voice-to-text keeps trying to put Dragonbane as Dragon Ball, and it's really throwing me off when I'm reading it back because I don't really edit these before I go ahead and do it, because that takes almost as much time as typing it out fully. So I'm trying to streamline my process here so I can do other things like make RPG content that can actually be here other than just the news. Anyway, Magi Mysterium Lore and Legacy will be a new tabletop game from Raven's Quill Press. It looks like it'll be a role-playing game that was developed over live stream sessions in order to focus more on the role-playing and limiting the rules. Finally, there's Warp Drive Wanderers, which looks to be a tabletop role-playing game about space farers. It'll have the players taking the role of crewmates, running their own starship and exploring the frontiers of space. It is inspired by space westerns. And with that, we will wrap things up here. This has been the RPG Crawler with my RPG News Roundup for January 20th, 2024. As always, links will be below. If you like what you've seen, remember to leave a like, comment, guide, feedback, and subscribe for more RPG content. And I promise it'll be more than just the news. I got another review ready to go. It'll hit next week, and I'll try to put some stuff about adventure design, maybe bring back the tabletops and tavern stuff. Anyway, until next time, take care and goodbye.
And if you are still watching, I would like to take the opportunity to thank my supporters, the top tiers of which are listed on the screen, without whose support I would not have been able to offer the variety of content that I have on this channel throughout the years. If you're feeling particularly generous and would like to join them, you can support the channel. There are a variety of options to do so. I have a Patreon, a Subscribestar, as well as channel memberships enabled. If you are not in a position to contribute, simply leaving a like, a comment, or sharing my videos are all wonderful ways to help the channel grow without spending a dime, and are all greatly appreciated.